Recording live from Glory Hole Studios in Chicago and beyond. This is Cognitive Dissonance. Every episode we blast anyone who gets in our way. We bring critical thinking, skepticism, and irreverence to any topic that makes the news, makes it big, or makes us mad. It's skeptical, it's political, and there is no welcome mat. Today is Thursday, November the 13th. And the government's working again, but I'm not real happy about it.
I'm not happy either.
Yeah.
I think it was a bad call on a lot of different levels, and I think that they spent a lot of capital that they had built up already, which is stupid.
Yeah, this is a very confusing. I've got a few things I want to run by on this. So, this is a very confusing timeline for reopening, for 8 Democrats to come over and reopen the government and say, hey, we're going to defect and reopen the government. I think it should be noted, too, that the 8 Democrats that came over and said, we're going to vote to reopen the government, none of them are up for re-election in 2026.
They're all safe.
Well, a lot of them some of them are retiring.
Some are retiring, but some of them are really far off.
Right. And so I think it's interestingly non-coincidental that the 8 that came over, none of them are up for re-election in 2026. Our own Senator, Dick Durbin here in Illinois, who I've liked from time to time and disliked from time to time.
He's had good and bad days.
He was one of those. He's retiring, so he came over. And this follows hot on the heels of big Democratic wins all across the board in the election just the week prior.
Yeah, seemingly.
So here's what I was thinking. And tell me if I'm crazy, because I'm willing to be dead ass wrong about this. But I guess I feel like if you're the Democrats and you're all gathered together in your fucking conference rooms and trying to figure out what to do next. I guess charitably, here's what I can imagine. Hey, Trump is never going to negotiate with us. He's showing up. He's not reaching out. There will be no negotiations with Trump. I think he's made that fairly clear that this is a game of chicken he intends not to back down on.
Sure.
We're not going to get the ACA subsidies. That's one of the big sticking points that we're holding out and fighting for the American people. We've shut down the government. We got through the election. We've made it clear to the American people that we fought for them, that we tried to get this done, that there was no negotiation. The next point is 2026. If we fix the problem and nobody, I don't know how to say this nicely, but it's sort of like if you fix the problem, nobody remembers the problem anymore. Nobody gives you credit for it. So it's if we're going to lose, let's lose now. After we got our election last Tuesday, after we've kind of established that we are willing to shut this government down, we've got another opportunity in January to fight again. They promised they would negotiate. They're going to renege on that promise. We can use that as a talking point to say, hey, your fucking insurance rates just went up, and then let people eat what they've created. Let the Republicans eat what they've created. Part of me is if you solve the problem that the Republicans create, then nobody remembers it was the Republicans that created that fucking problem. And 2026 is the next sort of sticking point. It's the next strategic moment. I don't know if I believe any of that, but I was trying to figure out why, because it's not an accident. I mean, there has to be a strategy behind this. What do you think?
Well, I don't think that there was going to be any good off-ramp. I feel like no matter what, there wasn't going to be a good, end of Star Wars, we put fucking medals on these guys, and there's X-Wings flying over above, and then they fucking let off some fucking fireworks, and Princess Leia gives everybody a kiss on the cheek. That was never going to happen. So if they held their guns till the end, nothing like that was going to happen, even in the best of circumstances.
And what's the end?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
Well, and I think what the end is that they keep those COVID era protections in for health insurance.
So they win. That would be the only win.
But I don't even think that's a very big win for them. I feel like that's one of those things that throughout the year can get picked apart as wasteful spending. People that are because the Republicans are amazing at spinning that idea that people are lazy and those lazy people are taking advantage of the government, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that plays so well with so many different people that they were going to have a hard time even spinning a win on that.
Yeah.
So I think that there was never really a good off-ramp. What I think is more important than any strategy right now to look forward to elections. And before I say that, let me just say that I hate that that's what we have to do. Right?
I know.
I hate that that's how we have to look at everything. Instead of just being like, hey, everybody, there's a problem.
Yeah, right.
And then you're like, we would like to fix that problem. And then you're like, but I don't want to fix it too soon because if I do, then I might not get back in there. Waka waka.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy shit, what kind of fucking horrible, cynical system have we created that makes people so quid pro quo about every single action that they think about taking? That's disgusting and gross. It exists. I'm not saying it doesn't exist.
Yeah. I'm right there with you.
But
I
think
fucking
it's
awful.
Fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Right? But I think that even if that thing is, like what you're suggesting is true, I think the more important thing than us, the Democrats looking out and saying, if we are more strategic, we can win in the upcoming elections, is they were, for one single time in the last year of Trump's presidency, looking like they were fighting back.
Yeah.
They hadn't done that much at all. Now, they did do a few things, right? There was a few things that they did, but they were mostly symbolic. Standing up in front of Congress for 24 hours, doing...
And again, that's just one
guy.
Right, yeah. This is like the only concerted movement.
There's been some push back and forth to try to do certain things, but for the most part, I mean, like you got a chance to see the Texas people leave the state.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like as a symbolic thing, they still came back and then they still did everything that they could have, that they were going to do anyway. Mm-hmm. But there was never been a moment that we've got an opportunity to watch where they've actually stood up.
Yeah.
Because, the United States people, and especially people on the left and the center, have been eating a lot of shit since fucking January 20th.
Yeah.
Like a whole lot of shit. Immigrants been eating a lot of shit. Black and brown people eating a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So the fact is that when the Democrats look like they're actually standing up and saying, no, that's enough, we're not going to do this, we're going to try to protect the people that need this protection, and then they buckle at the end. Yeah. I mean, like you had only one thing that you were doing right.
I know. I'm so torn on this. I really am. And again, like I know that I could be wrong, but I keep thinking like you were saying, like I'm like, what was... So like we should fight. So I don't want to put that out there. We should fucking fight. Like we have to fight. And then you've got, who are you fighting against and what are they willing to do? And you've got somebody like Trump who is willing to say, I'm not going to pay people. I'm going to close down FAP.
I'll fire people.
FAP, SNAP. Yeah. I'm going to close down FAP. I'm going to close down SNAP. I'm going to fire the people instead of that have been furloughed, and I'm not going to rehire them. I'm not going to pay the workers their back pay. I'm going to make this as awful and terrible and unsustainable as possible. Let's start shutting some airports down. Like Trump is increasing the pain. And like, if I genuinely thought that at the end of it, there was a way for us to get those ACA subsidies and then turn the system back on. If I really thought that could happen, I would say, let's fucking keep going. But like, all those people are eating so much shit. Like it's not me. Like those people who are so vulnerable are eating so much shit because they can't get food. That's all that they can actually eat. And then I don't think that there was a victory that we were going to really achieve at the end of it. And that's so sad. That's so depressing that I believe that that's likely the case.
What is also really depressing, though, is that there's a capitulation before anything ever happens. So Trump will say things like, I'll do this. Don't make me hurt you. Right.
Right.
And then we just, like, the rest of the country is like, well, he's going to do that. And that's real bad.
Yeah.
And then it's like when, somebody's abusive and then you go back to him over and over and over again. Right. This person is showing you that they're an abuser. My thought is, let's okay, do it. Because one thing I know that Trump is really afraid of is bad public opinion.
Yeah.
Like, I think he really is. And if he starts firing people or and says, I'm not going to give him back pay. If he says he's not going to give him back pay and then he follows through with not giving him back pay, think of how bad that looks for him and for the rest of the people. I think like when they threaten to do it, we should believe that they're going to do it, but at the same time be like, okay, well then you're going to eat the shit for it.
Yeah. And I guess like, and I thought about that too. And again, this is why like I feel like anybody could change my mind because my mind isn't made up. I'm just kind of talking. But there's a sense that I have, which might be incorrect, based on how the right reacted to Doge, that if a bunch of government workers didn't get rehired or didn't get their back pay, there'd be a bunch of assholes who on the right who are like, yeah, fucking government workers should eat shit. Fuck them. Who cares? And like a bunch of assholes on the right who are like, yeah, these fucking poor people shouldn't get SNAP anyway. Who fucking cares? And those people like can't be moved. But there's 42 million Americans from all walks of life who get their insurance through the ACA. And that's got nothing to do with welfare or a social safety net system. That's just, hey, you don't get insurance through your work. This is the other place you can get health insurance. There's not a third thing you can do. You either get it from the ACA or you get it from your work or you don't have insurance. That's it. And so 42 million Americans are about to have their premiums, their yearly premiums and monthly premiums literally doubled. And I wonder if saying like, look, we tried to get this to not go through. They fought us like tooth and nail. They were willing to damage everything and fuck the whole system up. All right, here it is. And then everybody's insurance premiums go up because it's open enrollment now. And all those things double. And I wonder if some of the assholes on the right who are like, yeah, actually, that is where I get my insurance because I don't get it through an employer. I own my own, auto body shop or whatever.
Sure.
Like maybe now they eat the shit. Because I think like there's a sense that I have, which could be totally wrong, that until they specifically and personally eat the shit,
I think you're gonna have
they don't give a shit.
Yeah,
they're done.
You have to do that to a bunch
So it's like, well, all right, you've got to pay because you didn't care like I care that somebody else is paying, right? Like I'm upset when the SNAP benefits go away because I care about other people, not because I'm using SNAP. But when I look at like the rhetoric that I see, especially like online and comment sections, which I know is trash, but when I look at that stuff and I see like what do people who are defending this say, it boils down to I'm not using it and people who are bad. And I'm like, well, they were never going to be moved. Do you know what I mean? Sure. I don't know. I could be wrong about the whole fucking thing.
Of course, there's going to be a group of people that are never going to be moved. But what if you're one of those people who thought those other people were bad before and now suddenly you're not getting it? Because there's a lot of people in the United States that get SNAP.
Yeah, man.
A
huge number of people.
You cut that number off. And then suddenly they're in those comment sections being like, wait. I know we said that those people were bad, but I'm not bad.
Right.
I'm a good person. And then all the people jump on him and be like, fuck you, you're bad.
Right.
You're just as bad as all those other people. You're just a different kind of bad. And so then they eat shit. And I think the thing is that there's all too often the Democrats have to be the responsible ones to pull the hand away from the stove.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't want to hurt people.
No.
And I don't want people to be hurt. But at the same time, like, there's a group of people in this country who don't care unless they're hurt.
Yes.
And so you're in a really weird conundrum. People, they made it uncomfortable for people, but not uncomfortable enough to change how they thought about Democrats or how they thought about people on the left or how they thought about their own president. And they really just made people uncomfortable for a little while. Yeah. That was pretty much it.
That's it. I know.
It's just been a bad, like it's bad decision making. It's a lot of bad decision making. And it's not like there wasn't a lot of fucking reasons why people already didn't like the Democrats.
Right.
The Democratic Party's fucking approval rating has been in the toilet since Trump's got in.
Yeah.
It's not like everybody's like, okay, let's all band together and stop this.
No, there's no kumbaya.
There's a ton of people right now online. Right now, we're not even close to elections who are like, there's no way I'm vote blue no matter who in the future. It's not going to happen. I'm not doing it anymore.
God,
and I know we've covered it a million times. I don't want to go into it. People figure it out, whatever. However it works. But there's already people saying that.
I know.
So what are you going to do? Like, how do you win that guy? You don't win it by just capitulating.
You don't win for sure. Salad.
That's
I know
for sure.
that.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I really am struggling with what the fuck was the right thing to do? Like, at what point, like, to your point, like, I agree with you. Like, there was no off ramp that I could see where we were going to say that was our victory. We won.
Yeah.
It's sort of like
the only victory would have been Trump eventually
capitulating,
going to at least trying to make a deal.
Yeah.
And he was never going to do it.
And I don't believe he would have done that.
He's never going to do it.
Yeah.
There's a guy who they interviewed who they said, we tried and he never came to the table. And everybody was just like, God, he's so weak. And you're like, yeah, but he's not wrong.
Right. It's like, if you're playing chicken with a guy who's willing to kill himself, you're going to lose.
Yeah. He doesn't. The thing is Trump doesn't give a fuck.
Right.
Because he's not going to be, gosh, fingers crossed, he's not going to be president again.
Oh, God, I hope
right?
not.
So fingers crossed he's not going to be president again. So he doesn't care about that stuff. What he cares about is inflicting damage.
Yeah.
And this is inflicting damage. So he doesn't give a fuck.
You know, like this is a weird anecdotal, but this feels, so here's what this feels like to me. Like, imagine two parents that are divorced and one is not willing to hurt the kids and the other one is willing to hurt the kids.
Where have I heard this before?
Right?
Go ahead. It seems like a familiar story. Go ahead.
The person who's willing to hurt the kids is more powerful.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Because they always hold something the other guy wants, right? They always hold a power card that says, I'll fuck shit up.
Yeah.
I will fuck shit up. And so the other person is like, well, like the fact that I don't want others to hurt is going to make me weaker.
Sure, yeah.
And it shouldn't be that way, right? There's so much here that's nonsense. And I just want to point out, like, the need for a continuing resolution to fund the government is a unique quirk of the American system that other countries don't have. That's why this happens here. We could just fix that. You could, like, structurally, we could say that's dumb. We're not doing that anymore. There are other ways to handle our budget. We could pass a budget, and the passing of the budget could necessarily imply we're going to pay for the budget we just passed. We don't have to do this all the time.
It seems like
it's a stupid fucking quirk of the system. We could get rid of it.
Yeah.
And that was the other thing I was going to say too, is like, we have an insane system right now where you need a 60-member majority, that's filibuster-proof majority, in order to accomplish certain things. Yeah. Other things can be done with a simple majority, and like, we can't just force a vote. So many issues, we can't even get everybody to show up and say yay or nay.
Yeah.
And they don't even have to go on record as having opposed or supported stuff to create a record that we can use to say to the American people, this is what your guy said about this.
Yeah.
This is what they voted for. Instead, shit just doesn't come up for a vote.
I think
they don't even put it to a vote until they've already secured enough people to say yes to it.
I think the other problem too is that the Democrats don't create a ton of news about themselves.
Yeah.
So this is going to stay for a long time, right? So this will be the news story for a long time about the Democrats.
Yeah.
That'll be the thing that they remember. It won't be anything else. Whereas if the Republicans do something wrong, the very next day, there's something just as bad that happened. And so people forget it. And so there's constantly a forgetting. There's a memory wipe on all the things that they do. And it's not that when it comes to the Democrats. I guarantee you, come June and July, when people are starting to run for office next time, you are going to hear about how the Democrats don't have a backbone. They didn't stand up to Trump. They can't stand up to Trump. And so that means just empower him more by giving him more representatives, I guess. I don't know what that argument is going to get you.
Maybe the Democrats need to take some plays out of the Republican playbook and just create madness and start like jerking off their dates in a theater or whatever they got to do in order to just, like maybe every Democrat should agree to jerk somebody off at the fucking Wicked musical or something next month to just kind of distract everybody.
Durbin, call me. But they're going after Chuck Schumer.
Yeah.
And I think good. Like this guy, I feel like there's too many old guard in there. We need to just start purging. We need to start getting rid of, become the youngest party. Become the youngest party. Be the youngest one you can. Get as young a people in there as possible, senators and representatives, and then start running young candidates for president. Be as young as you can. Yeah. Because the old people are never going to vote for anything you do anyway.
Right.
Old people overwhelmingly are already looking to another boomer after this one.
Well, and they're locked in, right? The older you are, the more locked into your party you're likely to be, the less swingy and independent you're likely to be. The other thing with like Chuck is like, all right, man, even if I assume your best intentions here, you gambled and you lost.
Yeah.
You tried a thing. It didn't work. You lost. You didn't hold your party together. That's your job, dude.
I don't know what else you say you do here.
Right.
Yeah.
You're
supposed to talk to engineering.
Right. Yeah. Like you bring the bills to the other fucking senators or whatever, so they don't have to talk to the constituents. I don't know. It's like, you fucking lost. Yeah, whatever strategy you employed, it didn't fucking work. You traded too much wool for too many fucking logs or whatever, and you don't have the roads around Katana. I don't know, man. You lost.
Yeah.
It didn't work.
100%. It's just so the most important thing that I think I take away from this is that it just feels like we're consistently being bullied. And the moment somebody finally feels like they're standing up to the bully to be like, no more, this isn't going to happen anymore. And like, you know, sort of slowly pulling the wedgie out of our own ass.
Yeah.
They're just like, and then somebody else comes from behind and lifts you up and puts you on a doorknob.
I know, man.
Why you coming home 5 in the morning? Something's going on. Can I smell your dick?
Spending bill would pave the way for senators to sue over phone searchers. Republicans have voiced outrage that Jack Smith looked at GOP lawmakers' phone records surrounding the January 6th attack. Legislation to reopen the government would allow them to sue for $500,000 each.
It's really clever for them. They're actually not sure. When I was reading this article, they were saying they're not sure exactly who put it in the bill. But
do they not work this on Google Docs? Or go back and look at the edit notes.
Just put like fucking like, this is me on the side? Like, what the fuck is that?
Doesn't everybody have to claim their words in there? Like, what?
Guess not. In any case, there's a good possibility that this is going to pass because it already went through both and then the president's just got to sign it. So that means that this is another moment where any of the comeuppance that was before, even just the embarrassing comeuppance of being part of these things.
Yeah.
Because, you can't convince me that these people weren't involved, right? These people were involved. Now they're just mad about it. Mm-hmm. And so now they're going to get paid from, and this is just a pilfering of the United States government. When we're complaining about Doge and they're saying, they got to cut all these jobs. Like this is a lot of people that they're saying they're going to get $500,000 each.
Yeah. Well, and it's also structurally creating a system that says, I am not accountable. Yeah. I am a civil servant and I do not want to be held accountable by third-party investigators. Man, if somebody said, Tom, we got to look at your phone and all of your phone records to see if you were involved in January 6th, I'd be like, yeah, man, here's my phone. It's cool. Take a look at it. You got a subpoena or whatever you're supposed to have for the legal stuff? Yeah, you got it? Awesome. Dude, here's my phone. Here's my computer. Like, whatever you need, because I didn't fucking do shit with January 6th. Civil servants are building into the system a kind of immunity now. Right? That's what they're doing.
Sure.
So this also has a chilling effect on future investigations. If I'm an investigator and I'm going to say, I want to find out what happened. So obviously I have to do an investigation. And one of the ways you do an investigation is to gather evidence and take a look at it and see if there's anything there. And there's not always something there, but you don't know till you fucking read it.
Yeah.
Now we have a system where the senators are like, you can't look into me.
And if you do, I'm going to sue the fuck out of the government for it.
So now people aren't going to look into them.
Well, I'll tell you what, winning strategy. Here's the winning strategy for anybody who's running as somebody who's left. Help out people, normal people, right? Make sure that you go after people that have tried to destroy any systems in our government, and then make it so the people that did do stuff like that are punished.
Yes.
If you do those things, you're going to win. Those are winning. That's a winning strategy for people that should be like, I'm going to get in there. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to fix the system so this shit doesn't happen again. And then I'm going to go after all those people that fuck this system up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make sure that while I'm there, I'm going to help as many people as possible, as many people that are low income as possible. You do those three things, I feel like that's an absolute home run ticket for anybody.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the idea, if I were running, the idea would be, hey, everything in your life's too expensive. Let me help.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, when you go to the grocery store, that's absurd.
Yeah.
I get it. We're going to do this specific set of things. I'm going to give you specifics and we're going to help fix that problem. Hey, you know what? The cost of medicine has fucking exploded.
Yeah.
It makes no sense anymore. And everybody in the system is miserable. Here are the things that we're going to do to make that system function better for people, right? Hey, your childcare costs have also exploded out of touch with reality. Here are the things we're going to do. Man, because you know what? People have kids. 86% of women have kids. Every single person eats and everybody goes to the doctor. So you want broad appeal? That's broad appeal.
Yeah, man.
Let's solve some everyday actual issues with people.
Yeah.
Where's the beef? Some hamburger places give you a lot less beef on a lot of bun.
Where's the beef?
At Wendy's, we serve a hamburger we modestly call a single. And Wendy's single has more beef than the Whopper or Big Mac. At Wendy's, you get more beef and less bun.
Hey, where's the beef? I don't think there's anybody back there.
You want something better. You're Wendy's kind of people.
This story's from Huffington Post. Trump finally meets a problem his lies cannot overcome, rising grocery prices. He is trying to say...
It's amazing how he's just trying to gaslight everybody.
This is something that's just so unbelievable. He actually said, I think in a truth or a tweet or whatever, something like, grocery prices are down. In fact, it's in the article. Let me read exactly what it is that he said. So just so you guys don't think that I'm misquoting him, here's what he said. Grocery prices are way down. Literally nobody is experiencing that at all. It's funny that he says that, but he's also like, hey, beef prices have gone way up and we're going to look into beef producers. So he's also like absolutely saying one thing and then turning around and saying the entirely different thing.
Yeah.
That's insane. That's absolutely like cuckoo crazy.
But I think it's been his strategy since forever to basically just say, I'm going to lie to you. Mm-hmm. And then I'm never going to back down from that lie, even after somebody says that's a lie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just going to keep lying. And, you know, there's other stuff we're going to talk about. Obviously the, you know, Epstein stuff we'll talk about, et cetera, et cetera. But trust me, they're never going to ever say I was wrong. Right. There's never going to be a moment where they're going to say I was wrong. There's never going to be a moment where they're going to say, oh, you know what? Actually, I was on the jet or whatever.
Yeah, right.
It's never going to happen.
Yeah, grocery prices, it turns out, are up. They're up.
They're up
like everybody who eats a food.
They're up so much.
It's crazy.
Insane.
I got a family of 6 people. We ordered groceries the other day and it was almost $600 for groceries. It wasn't that much groceries, man. And I'm not getting like, we're not only eating lobster from Whole Foods. Yeah. We're getting, you know, regular people stuff, cereal, milk, and like food
Two of your kids only eat Go-Gurt or something.
Yeah, I know, man. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, so, you know, like legitimately, like Aislinn eats essentially like salsa. Like that's all she's like. I don't know how she's alive. She is made entirely out of salsa. That's it. Like I'm only half kidding.
She just pours a big glass of it, puts a straw in,
just sucks it. It's
sucks
fucking
in the peppers. You got to get really good.
I literally put them in the blender, man. You got to blend that shit up. Yeah. But like everybody knows this shit is way too expensive. It's out of control. Yeah. And, you know, if you look at like the major grocery chains, their profits are way the fuck up. This isn't complicated.
I went to the grocery store the other day and it's just my wife and I. Now we had gone on a trip, so we didn't have a lot of stuff in the house, right? You know how when you go on a trip, you don't
empty out ahead of time.
And then you come back and there's not a lot. And so you have to buy certain staples and things that have sort of you threw out or whatever. And so we come back and I had to buy groceries. And so we bought groceries and we get to the counter and it's a you know, a sizable cart full of stuff. Yeah. But it's not like an impossible amount of food.
Yeah, right.
It was almost $500 for just the two of us.
Crazy.
And as I'm scanning it, one of the ladies who's scanning us, there's another lady who's bagging us. And the lady who's scanning us, she's like, do you see the price of these people's grocery? Like right in front of us. And then the other person's like, I would tell you to recount it all. but genuinely, like, the sticker shock is even affecting the people who are ringing it up.
Yeah, because like it's unreal.
The people who are ringing it up are like, holy shit. Are you serious? $500 for that? What you got? Yeah. What you got?
Dude, my brother in Christ, I ordered we do a lot of our groceries from Instacart.
Yeah.
So like we got Tombstone pizzas. That is like nothing. Because they used to cost like $1.50, right? Yeah. Like a Tombstone pizza, it's almost $6.
That's a lot of money
for a fucking Tombstone pizza. Yeah. That's crazy,
and then you
man.
Gotta eat a Tombstone pizza.
And then you eat a Tombstone pizza when you're at the end of it.
You have to eat a Tombstone pizza after it's all over.
Quick question. Yeah. Frozen pizzas? What is your go-to?
To be honest.
And don't tell me you don't like any frozen pizzas.
To be honest.
We can't be friends anymore.
To be honest, I don't. I'm teasing about Tombstone, but I have a place in my heart for Tombstone.
Yeah.
And it's because my dad was an alcoholic and he would be at a bar and we would go visit him at the bar. And then he would say, why don't I get the kids a pizza? And then they would make a pizza in a little pizza oven.
Yes.
Back there.
Right.
And then they pull the pizza out, and it was the greatest day of my life as a young man because I loved pizza and I thought it was the greatest. So I have a spot. There's a spot in my heart for tombstones. So if a tombstone is served to me, I will eat the fuck out of it. I'm teasing. I will eat the shit out of it.
It's a serving pizza.
It's not a great pizza, but it's not the worst frozen pizza out there by a long stretch. My favorite is Home Run Inn. Home Run Inn makes a great pizza. I think their pizza is close to being not where it doesn't feel like it's because it's
closer to being delivery.
Yeah, it's kind of par cooked. Have you ever had one?
Not that I can remember.
Okay, so it's par cooked, and then you put it in the oven, and it has good ingredients that it's sort of made with, and it's kind of got like a buttery crust rather than like a
angry cardboard crust. Yeah,
like a doughy. Like it's more cracker crust than a lot of other crusts, and it's a Chicago institution, Home Run Inn.
Right.
So I always get like the pepperoni sausage one, and I think it's a solid pizza. What about you?
I actually like Tombstone. I have a soft spot in my heart for different. Like I just remember going to like friends' houses and like their mom was going to like let us sleep over or something.
And then to get Tombstones.
And you got a Tombstone pizza, but you each got one.
Oh.
So you got your own Tombstone pizza.
It's a big deal.
And that's so great.
It's a big
It's
deal.
like, cool, I get to pick all the toppings I want. I don't have to get my dad's green olives on pizza. Dad, what? Like you got whatever you wanted on your pizza and like it was all yours and it was awesome. And so like that's just its own taste to me.
Yeah.
I almost like separately categorize it like, I'm not eating pizza. I'm having a Tombstone.
Yeah, it's a different thing.
It's its own thing. But I like it.
Yeah.
You know, and if I'm feeling fucking fat and sassy, like I'll have a Tombstone,
I love
man.
a Tombstone. I'll eat it. And you're right. It is a single serving pizza. It's a single serving pizza.
100%.
Yeah,
$6 for a goddamn Tombstone, though.
I am not a fan of like Jack's or
Red Baron.
Those aren't mine. I'm not a big fan of those.
That's because they combine, for me, they combine the bad part of being genuinely bad without having any nostalgia attached to it.
I mean, if it had nostalgia attached to it, I'd probably love it.
Right. That's why, like, if I grew up eating Red Baron, I'm sure it would just be like my Tombstone. It's like, it doesn't taste good. I love it.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah. DiGiorno's not bad.
DiGiorno's okay. The rising crust pizza.
It's not bad.
It's okay.
not bad.
I'll eat the shit out of it. Yeah.
But the thing is like, we're so spoiled out here that, like, if I want a pizza, it's pretty rare that I'm like, I'll be like, no, I'm just going to order a pie. Like there's like 5 or 6 places around me that make really good pizza. Yeah. And so you're just like, no, man, I'll just order one of those.
Yeah. Tombstone for me is the 11 o'clock.
Oh yeah, you're late. It's late at night.
It's late, and I'm like,
you eat anything all day, and now
I
I'm
could still
hungry.
mash.
Boy, even a broken clock is right 2 or 3 times a day, and this time I'm right.
This is a spot of good news. CNN.
Hey, once in a while, we get a piece of good news.
I did not think this was going to happen. I would not have laid bets on this. Supreme Court declines to revisit landmark same-sex marriage precedent. The Obergefell decision for now still stands. Kimberly Clark, the lunatic court clerk, I think from Kentucky, who was sued successfully and removed from her job, if I recall right, jailed and for contempt for not issuing same-sex marriage certificates.
Yeah, and then sued for a lot of money.
Yeah.
She $100,000.
She tried to take it to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court was like, pass. We're not even going to hear it.
Taking it to the court. Well, so long, lady.
Dumbass.
God, can we just get rid of her? Can we stop talking about her?
Nothing in the world would make me happier than to never hear her fucking name. There's just so many
times that these people come back and you're like, I thought we were done talking about this person.
Dude, she's a fucking genital wart.
She is the fucking worst type of person.
Yep.
Such a fucking self-righteous piece of shit.
Yep.
And you're just like, God, go away. God, go away. And you're like, even these asshole, shitty, homophobic bigots that are part of this court are like, we're not gonna look at this case.
And the thing is that these fucking assholes, they are these sort of self-styled right-wing Rosa Parks types.
Mm-hmm.
They think that they are going to be the one who bravely sets a precedent.
Yeah.
But the difference is that they are fighting to roll the clock back. Mm-hmm. They are fighting to destroy progress and hurt other people and impose a narrow-minded worldview on everybody who does not share that worldview.
Imagine being stuck at a table at like a fucking, like one of these big Republican fundraisers, and you're at the table with Kim Davis and the guy who wouldn't do a gay cake in Colorado. What are you going to talk about?
Dude,
Like, what are you going to talk about? How great those people are? Because that's all they want to talk about.
fist fights and how I want to be in one? I don't know. See, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, what do you talk about? Like, I poisoned your drinks? I don't know. Should I have mentioned that or not? Anyway,
Actually, no.
inconceivable.
Yeah, man, these people are they're boring, awful, shitty people who were trying to hitch their wagons to a ideology because it empowered them to be shitty.
Yeah.
Right? This ideology empowered their shittiness.
Yep.
And it allowed them to take pieces that you should be ashamed of and use that as an identifier of who you are.
Yeah.
And it's like, good, you're gone.
Awesome.
Like, great.
Yep.
Like, fucking anti-gay man is gone. And he's not even, like, his outfit when he flies through the air is just black and white because he can't use any rainbow colors. He's a fucking hamburglar.
I'm not a racist. I've got good intentions. I put on my face mask and bust down your door.
Another piece of good news, NBC. Judge permanently bars Trump from deploying National Guard troops to Portland in response to immigration
He's
protests.
just still being such a fucking asshole about this. They finally had to, like, do something that was, like, permanent. It's insane that this is still going on. You hadn't heard about this in a while.
Yeah,
right?
Weeks. I actually forgot about this, to be honest. I literally thought this was a done deal. And it's like, yeah, now it's a done deal. And you're like, holy shit, what?
And that means that he's been probing and doing that stuff for that as long as that's been going on.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom, it's almost winter.
I know, man.
You know?
I know. Yeah, this
was in the middle of the summer they were doing this.
Yeah, this is the desire to impose martial. Let's say, like, I thought about this the other day. That, keep in mind, I think that what he's trying to do is impose a coward's version of martial law. So really imposing martial law would be a declaration of martial law. And if he did that, everybody would be pissed. But if he can do it fucking sideways, right? If he can do this coward's version where he gets to have his military presence, do all the militarying that he wants them to do without having to actually stand there and fucking label it what it is, we can't let him do that shit.
Yeah.
We can't. If you're going to fucking declare martial law in this country, motherfucker, own it and name it.
Yeah.
Own it and name it. Because there's going to be fucking lunatics from Idaho, just like everybody else, who are going to show up and be like, all right, that shit, no way. Like, I just came from Ruby Ridge to come down and say, no, the fuck not.
There would be a crossing of the lines, I think, for some people. Not everybody.
Not everybody.
Because there's a group of people who I think no matter what Trump does, that is now the new norm.
Yeah.
So I think there is, no matter what, a group of people who would be, if not excited, at least acquiesce, if that's the case.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a group of people, I think, that would be the last straw.
Yeah.
This is the thing that you don't do. And I think you're right. I think he's trying to do it without actually trying to declare it.
Yeah.
Right. He's trying to figure out a way for him to rules lawyer away into doing this one thing that he wants to try to do. Because I think, look, this has been his obvious tactic since he's been in office, is that he wants to hurt people who he thinks wronged him. And that means cities too.
Yeah.
And those cities that he thinks wronged him are Chicago, Portland, and LA. Those are places that he wants to go after. You notice that he's not doing this in other places, right? He's not doing this look at where most of the mobilization is for ICE, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Look at where most of the images you see about ICE are. They're from right down the street. They're from in Chicago.
Right.
They're
down the road,
mostly from Wilmette when they show up there, or Oak Park or wherever they show up, and then they get filmed and then they get posted online. Most of that shit's from Chicago.
Right.
And it's because of the push here in Chicago, because he wants to really hurt Chicago as much as possible, because he feels like Chicago is the one place that really upset him and showed him and basically attacked him while he was in office before.
Yeah.
And so now he wants to just even the scales. And he's been doing it since he came in.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, he's fucking open about this.
Yeah.
He's open about saying, I want to go hurt my political enemies.
Yeah.
I mean, what did he say during the Charlie Kirk memorial jerk-off thing that they had? He said something like, some people like their political enemies or something, and like I hate them. I want to crush and destroy them. Like I'm only slightly paraphrasing.
Yeah, you're not. It's not like you're distorting his words beyond belief.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the tenor and tone and content. So I just don't remember exactly what the words were. It's the same shit. So it's not like it's like not out loud and everything.
He was actually found in a hole near the house. But this inattention to detail was typical of the laziness the show's narrator was known for.
Under the house. Perhaps in attic shall I seek.
Real shoddy narrating. Just pure crap.
Epstein.
Well, this is something that the shutdown allows to happen.
Yeah.
Is when the shutdown happens, now they have to swear in that one person.
Yeah.
That person from Arizona, they then become the final vote that allows stuff to eventually be released. And the morning of that we found everything out, the Democrats released 3 strategic emails before a large sort of big 20,000 email dump that the Republicans did. And the 3 that they released don't look so great. Although admittedly, I want people to remember something that I think is so important when you look at these things. Jeffrey Epstein is an unreliable narrator.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's super important for everybody to remember that just because Jeffrey Epstein says something that I want to be true doesn't mean it's true at all in any way.
Yeah. And like all of the stuff that is released is suggestive, but not definitive.
Yeah.
And that is its own thing. I think that honestly, the most damning piece of sort of non-evidence evidence is how hard certain people are and the Trump administration to saying like, we are going to fight to make sure this stuff doesn't come out. They fought tooth and nail to try to get this stuff not to come out. They're losing that fight slowly, but the fact that they are saying, I don't want more information to come out. Stop leaking this information. Do not provide this information. I don't know, man. Like then they provide it and there's something there.
There's something there.
Right? And what do we know about Trump and Epstein? Well, we knew they were close in the 80s and 90s. There's no disputing that. They hung out in the same social circles. They were pals. Fucking like Trump signed with a fucking weird, gross picture Epstein's birthday book for his 50th birthday. They've been photographed many times hanging out in the same places. Epstein was at the fucking club that Trump owned. They had an association that was not passing or acquaintance based.
They like some of the same things.
They like some of the same things. We like to share a good secret, don't we?
Winky, winky.
What the actual fuck, man?
Yeah.
And then what do we also know about Trump? We know he likes young girls. We know that he's said, like, if she wasn't my daughter, I'd be fucking her, about his own fucking kid. What? He knows, like, he goes back in the fucking Miss Universe pageant to look at them while they're naked and brags about it. He assaults women and talks about how he assaults women. Like, and he's been busted for assaulting women and had to pay civil fines for doing it. So he's not a good dude.
Yeah.
He's not, it's not like he's like, oh, well, this is really out of fucking character.
Yeah.
It's absolutely in character.
Yeah.
So again, there isn't anything which you can say 100% this happened. But if you ask me, what do I think? Probably.
Sure.
I'm like, yeah, he's a fucking piece of shit. Of course he was like hanging out with Epstein and fucking like absolutely abusing women. What world am I living in where I think that that's not probably true?
Absolutely could possibly be and probably is true. Right. But I think like the problem is that none of this stuff is concrete.
Yes.
None of it is proof in a court of law. None of it is something that you can be like, this is a thing that's going to take him down. The only thing it is an embarrassment to him. But my suggestion is just keep on making it the biggest embarrassment that you possibly can make it, because it obviously upsets him.
Yeah.
And an upset Trump is a Trump on his back foot who's not doing horrible shit to the poorest people in our country.
Yeah,
so
man.
Just keep it up there. And I think one of the things that's the most shocking about this whole thing is there's a journalist who he's communicating with in one of these emails.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts,
and
man. Michael Wolff.
He asked this journalist, he says, hey, what do you think I should do in this case? And the journalist like responds.
It gives him advice.
With
man.
like essentially legal advice on how he should approach this thing that he has going on with Trump.
Yep.
And you're like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah,
what
man.
is happening? That is fucking gross.
It's really unethical.
And I think the worst part about that is that, you know, right now, media and journalism they're up against the ropes. They're beleaguered, right? This is a moment in our time where there isn't a lot of trust.
Right.
And then stuff like this comes out and you're like, yeah, man, that's just going to, you get to add that to the pile of a bunch of people don't trust the media already. Now they see this from behind the scenes and they're like, oh, that guy was shitty. And he was talking to some reporter and the reporter's like, yeah, I'm going to fucking give you fucking essential. Now this is a journalist who's like a book writer. Like this is somebody who like writes books and shit.
Yeah, he wrote a book about Trump in his first administration.
And he was also the guy who was ringing the bell saying, I have a bunch of tapes about
that's
Trump, right? So this is a guy who's been, has the Epstein tapes that he's been trying to pawn off on everybody for a long time to talk about how important they are, right? But this is shitty for, it's like just a shitty thing to have happen because people will do guilt by association.
Yeah. You know, I want to say too, this is the reason we have investigations. This is part of the work of a functioning Congress. If we had a functioning goddamn Congress, they would be able to say, there appears to be smoke. Let's investigate and determine if there's a fire. That is part of what Congress's oversight job is. The fact that Congress has abdicated all of their responsibility, moral, legal, and financial and otherwise, to the executive branch in this administration means that, like, they're politically opposed for the most part to doing anything reasonable. And, like, they are just absolutely not going to go against Trump. I am wondering, though, and I wonder what you think of this, if Trump appears to weaken after 2026, he will be a lame duck. He's already a lame duck. If he appears to weaken or Trump's position is weakening in 2026, is this a good strategic point for Republicans to then distance themselves from what they might see as a dying movement?
Well, what could be is that they kill the king and then replace the king so that the new king has a couple of years to be the new king, and now they're an incumbent.
Right.
And that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. So you could feasibly get a JD Vance in there. Now you could get JD Vance as your president for a year or two if they were to split. Yeah, could you imagine how terrible that would be? Jesus Christ.
Whatever looks good.
Every single couch is just covered with just nasty. Don't sit there. Don't sit there. That's the wet spot. They're all the wet spot. I mean, the whole couch is the wet spot.
JD Vance goes into one of those like grandma living rooms, the plastic over. He's like, hey, condom's already on.
It's like Erica Kirk in her leather pants. I feel like while these aren't like unbelievably damning. Now, granted, they just released these things, so that people haven't really gone through these 20,000 emails yet. Like, this is a lot of fucking emails to go through. So there's obviously people are going through them. But the ones that the Democrats released they don't look good.
No, they don't.
And they're not like to the point that I think it's important too to remember that this is, some of this stuff is like what's in Jeffrey's mind, not what's actually happening. Right.
Yeah.
So like that's also another thing to think about. But I say just keep this in the front page for as long as you can. Clearly they didn't like what's in there. So just put it all out in the middle of everything. Yeah. They even like they were even shutting down a press conference. The narrative I saw was that the moment an Epstein question got asked, they immediately shut the press conference down, and everybody's like, "Okay, that's enough, everybody." And then they're shaking hands, and that's the end of it. I don't know how true that is, right? Because it's the framing of it, which you're not positive of. But there's definitely video that shows them being like, "Well, gotta go anyway. Oh, it's really late. I have something in the oven. Gotta go get it out of there."
One of these days, somebody's going to get pushed too far, and who knows what they're capable of.
Is that a threat?
It's a warning.
From Politico, Trump pardons top allies who aided bid to subvert the 2020 election.
This is another moment we were talking about earlier where it's like, he's going to hurt the people he wants to hurt, but he's going to protect the people who he thinks... And it's not, I think, that he cares about these people that he's pardoning. And he's pardoning them from federal crimes. They're not pardoned from the state crimes that they were committed, they committed.
It's largely symbolic in that respect.
Mostly there are some federal crimes that he's pardoning them from. And I think in that case, what he's trying to say is that I never did anything wrong.
Right.
So it's like a way for him to say, I never did anything, even though you're like, but you had to pardon somebody for it.
Yeah. It's not how pardons work. I just want to say, like, that's not how that works. I mean, although I say that, but like, I will say that, like, and I understood why he did it. Joe Biden at the end of his presidency preemptively pardoned his whole family.
Probably fucking smart, actually.
Because he knew that they were going to be attacked.
Yeah.
So, you look at this.
He believed him, right? It's one of the few moments that Trump is, like it's actually funny because so many people don't believe that he's going to do these things. They're shocked when he does them. And he's like, he told you he was going to do that.
He said so.
He's going to do that. And this is one of the moments where Joe Biden's like, yeah, I believe it. Yeah, I believe this. Yeah.
And like Trump has made good on all of his threats. Not all, most of his threats.
Most of them.
And the ones he hasn't made good on, it's because he couldn't.
Yeah.
And tell me I'm your own.
Check, please.
Right? All right, this story comes from ABC News. What to know about Trump's promise of $2,000 tariff dividend payments? This is such a fucking train wreck.
It is so fucking... What is so crazy is that all the prices for all foreign goods go up. All the prices for everybody else goes up. And if you can give people a check, which he can actually do...
Can't do it.
There's no money for this, but even if I think even if you just say you're going to give him a check, that's enough to get people back on your side. And this is all just Trump just trying to find a way to make it look like he's right.
Yeah, well, and the numbers don't make any sense at all. No. So what Trump said is he basically said we're going to give everybody except for top earners $2,000. And then Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, came out very quickly and was like, well, what he means by that. And then he did this insane tap dance where he's like, well, everybody's already gotten their $2,000.
You got actually more than that.
In the form of national security.
You guys got more than that in your tax credits.
Yeah. When he even said, like, you already got it. It's part of national security. That's worth something. The price that the money, the friends you made along the way. Hey, we can't write checks to 340 million people for $2,000 because that's not how numbers be.
Yeah.
Guys, did anyone give him a calculator once?
Well, and even if you're going to give him the households, that's like, what, 80 million households?
Yeah, it's so much money.
And then you take off the top earners. Well, the top earners are a small portion of the people.
Because that's how that works,
that's how it works.
Like, I actually want to read a couple of quick things that Scott Bessent said. So you guys know I'm not really even making this up. Within hours, however, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent cast down on the plan, saying the payout could merely refer to tax savings enshrined by Trump's signature domestic measure. He basically was like, you already got $2,000. What the president really meant to say was, everybody gets a check, but you already got yours, and you did, right?
Yeah.
Huh?
You already had the benefit of $2,000.
That's what he meant to say. When he said we're going to send you a check, what he meant to say is you already got some money.com.
Is this him?
Yeah. It could be just the tax decreases that we're seeing on the president's agenda. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, deductibility on auto loans. Those are substantial deductions that are being financed in the tax bill. The real goal of tariffs is to rebalance trade and make it more fair.
The real goal of tariffs is the tariffs we made along the way.
Yes.
It's amazing. He says it out loud.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, so good, dude.
Also, like, wasn't the idea, Cecil, was that, hey, we've got this terrible imbalance in the trade system. We're going to tariff the shit out of the world. We're going to get money flows into the treasury, and that will help to offset the costs of these other projects in order to reduce the national debt, in order to get that deficit situation under control. If you were to give all the money back, how does that pay your bills, right? Like, we're going to use this money to pay bills. We're going to get some more money. We're going to pay down the credit cards. And what I really mean is we're going to get all this money and give it right back out.
Well,
what the fuck?
I think what they knew all along, and what the American people never listened to, was they were saying, hey, we're going to take a bunch of money, and then you're going to lose a bunch of money because it's your money.
Right.
And then you're going to be feeling a pinch because now you don't have as much money. And now we're going to have to backtrack.
Yeah, yes.
And that's really what's happening.
Yeah. It's like, okay, guys, we took $3,000 out of your left pocket. Okay? We put $1,000 in your right pocket. We gave you $1,000.
But we wrapped it in a small American flag.
And like, also, do you remember the cash payments that were made to keep the economy moving during the unprecedented economic and health crisis of COVID-19? And there was stimulus checks that went out, and that encouraged people. That allowed people to encourage. It allowed people who were forced to stay home from work to survive. and it kept our economy afloat, and we all got to not go into a fucking depression as a result of that. Well, they were screaming on the right that was the ultimate cause of inflation. Now, that was a lie. It was always a lie. That had nothing to do with inflation at all. I mean, not significantly. But like, now all of a sudden, hey, inflation is still not under control. What about if we do the thing that we said caused more inflation, and now there's no crisis to back it up? What backflips are you even doing right now?
It's because nobody there can find their ass with two hands.
No. Yeah.
And you knew it was going to be a fucking clusterfuck. And he's got a couple people there who have to they have to basically serve you a shit sundae while convincing you it's the best thing you've ever tasted.
It's chocolate.
It's delicious chocolate.
Now, there's flies on it.
It's a chocolate fountain. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for this week. Remember that Vulgarity for Charity is still in full swing. So you can donate to Vulgarity for Charity. It's you go to recoveringfromreligion.org. At the top is Vulgarity for Charity 2025. It's a link. You click on it. And in the past, it used to be this sort of Byzantine process where you'd have to, hey, I'd have to donate. And then I'd have to take a copy of that. And I'd have to send it to us at like a separate email address. And then poor Tim would have to fucking like collate all that shit.
Yeah.
Don't have to do that anymore.
It's all done.
It's all done.
Yeah.
And you can attach things. You can type a bunch of stuff in. We get a spreadsheet that's made for us after it's all over. So it's really super convenient for you and for us. So if you have a little extra change this month, Recovering from Religion does great work all over the globe, literally all over the globe. So please, if you have a couple of bucks, $50 gets you a chance to get a roast. The biggest dollar roasters will get a roast. We're giving away 50 of the top dollar people. They're going to get a roast. And then we're going to choose 50 other people who donated. You know, look, we're making there at this point right now, we're over $50,000.
That's amazing.
And there's going to be more, but we still have time. It's until Thanksgiving. So this is releasing on Monday. You still have several days, a whole week. So go ahead, donate, get your roasts in, because at a certain point it's going to end and you won't have an opportunity to do it. So we'd love to get your roasts, and we'd love to get, I know that Recovering from Religion would love to get that money so that they can help run their operations. So please consider giving to Recovering from Religion this year. And we're going to wrap it up, and we're going to wrap it up like we normally do with the Skeptic's Creed.
Credulity is not a virtue. It's fortune cookie cutter